So we are going to start off with Texas A&M. I will have to get their graphic up here real quick, but Skylar, while I'm doing that, your thoughts on Texas A&M going into this season?
I'm pretty unsure of A&M. I think that they're going to be a really good team, but what I didn't know is I don't think A&M has ever in the history of their team gone back to back double digit wins. I think like back to back
Yo,
10
you
win
might be
seasons.
right on that.
I think I heard that earlier this all season, and that blew my mind. So now, excuse me, A&M I think winning 10 or 11 games last year. Are they going to be able to do that again this year? I don't know. Yeah, I know. She's just vibing over there, singing her song, and yeah, everybody wants to see you, but I'm not gonna do it. It's okay. Maybe a little bit. No, I'm joking. Anywho's, so I don't know. I think my opinion is I'm just unsure. I think they're going to be a good team, but after hearing that stat, I understand records are meant to be broken, but that's not something that makes me want to say, oh, well, I have them going 10-2. Now I'm kind of like, they may go 9-3, 8-4, but I know the Aggie fans are not going to be happy with that. But what say you? What are your thoughts of this team? Marcel Reed and all that.
I'm really high on Texas A&M because of all the pieces they are returning. You know, you are returning Marcel Reed, and yes, he had his issues last season. He really faded under the pressure from last season, right down the stretch. They did not play a tough schedule, as everybody keeps bringing up. You know, it was a very easy schedule that they had, but the talent is there, and I really, really like Mike Elko as the coach. He did a fantastic job at Duke. He's going to have them contending again this year. Will they take a step back? Who knows? I can say this: they're not going to go undefeated. I'm already on record saying there will be no SEC team go undefeated this season. But I think that they're going to be very good this season. So, Skylar, would you like to go first on Texas A&M, or do you want to go first when we do Texas here in a minute?
No, I can go ahead and go first right now.
All right.
I want you to go ahead and give me 3 dubs to start the season.
All righty.
I want you to go ahead and put their first loss of the year against LSU.
Ooh, man.
I believe I have LSU. Yeah, I have them going 10-2, and they're only losing to Texas, Alabama. So yeah, I have LSU actually beating A&M. I think a lot had to do with in this segment was the fact that this was on the road in Death Valley. Could be a difficult situation for A&M, first big home, road game of the year. I don't know. I feel like the Aggies are going to pull one there, or they're going to lose one there. LSU, it's a big game for them. So Arkansas, I think they bounce back, get a big win. I also think they beat a really good Missouri team. Missouri's going to be a solid team, but they're going to Missouri. I think they pick up the win there. Um, Citadel, that's a win there. That's kind of a weird, right in the middle of the season, non-conference game.
Yeah, I was thinking that myself. It's a very weird spot.
Yeah, but the fact that they play Kentucky and LSU week 3 and week 4, I guess that makes sense. But yeah, I seen that and I'm like, wait a minute, that took me by surprise a little bit. Third Saturday in October, you got some big games, and then you got Texas A&M playing. Hey, by the way, just throwing this out there, that's probably going to be your ESPN Plus game of the week right there. Just throwing that
Oh,
out there. So if you're an
more than
Aggie
likely.
fan, yeah. But at Alabama, this is going to be a really, really good game. Um, I've actually got Texas A&M beating Alabama at Alabama. Going to be a good game regardless. I understand this is at Bryant-Denny Stadium. I think my thing here with this game is just the way the schedules line up. You got Texas A&M coming off basically a bye week, and then you've got Alabama coming off the game against Tennessee at Tennessee. I
Hmm.
don't know. I do have Bama beating Tennessee, so I think some of that has to do with it. Just the optics of it, the way the schedule runs up, I think that's why A&M is going to get the win there. At South Carolina, I think it's going to be a dub for the Aggies. Um, Tennessee comes into College Station. That's going to be a really tough game for the boys in orange. I do have them dropping that game, so the Aggies are going to pull that win out. And then we got at Oklahoma, and I believe I've got Oklahoma beating the Aggies. So give me Oklahoma to beat Texas A&M. And then the last game of the year, Texas, I have the Aggies Uh, I've got the Aggies losing to Texas once again. I've got the Aggies going 9-3. I think worst case scenario for the Aggies this year, even with the tough schedule, is still 7-5. But that's absolute worst case scenario. I think it's pretty tough having LSU, Alabama, Tennessee, Oklahoma, Texas, Missouri on the schedule. Those are six very losable games. But in the same sense, I think there's not really a team on this schedule that Texas A&M can't beat. But with that being said, I got them going 9-3. Best case scenario is 11-1. I just don't see a team going undefeated, especially A&M with this schedule.
Yeah, so you got 7-5 as a floor, is that correct? And then 11-1
Seven
as
and
a
five.
ceiling.
That's right.
Yeah,
And I've
still,
got them
still
going
a
9-3.
still a really good year for A&M this year. They might be a little bit disappointed with that because I know they're looking title aspirations, but I feel like that's a very good schedule prediction for Texas A&M 9-3 this season. So we'll clear the board, and I will give my predictions on Texas A&M. You know, definitely a more difficult schedule than what they had last season. Obviously with the 9-game
Agreed.
schedule, the rotating schedule that teams have now, you're not just going to have one team with a cakewalk of a schedule and then one team that has the most brutal schedule out there. It's going to be, it's obviously not going to be even, but it's going to be as close as they can get to even across the board with all the SEC teams. So actually, before I get into mine, let's say General Soros. I know I'm saying that wrong, but he says Texas A&M 9-3 or 10-2. So kind of where you're thinking there as far as the 9-3 goes.
Is it general you're sus? Like, is that like the new slang?
Maybe that's what it is. General, you're sus. Yeah, I think
I
that's
don't
what it
know.
is. Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Why couldn't you have
Um,
an easy name like Rhonda? Come on. Rhonda's awesome. Where's
that's
that
right.
team from? College Station, if she's talking about A&M, or is she talking about the Citadel? Where's
The
Citadel from?
Citadel is in South Carolina, I think.
Attaboy. I hope
I
you're right on
think.
that. Somebody fact check him. He's probably
Yeah,
lying.
probably. I don't know. Anyway, Texas A&M, they are going to get a dub against
Yeah.
Missouri State. Arizona State in week 2, a little bit more difficult game, but Kenny Dillingham's squad is not going to be as good as they were last season. Give me a win over Arizona State. Kentucky, that's also going to be a win there. At LSU, let me make sure that I am picking this correctly. I do have a win for Texas A&M going on the road to Death Valley, coming out of there with a victory. Arkansas, I've also got a win there for Texas A&M. I've got them starting absolutely fantastic. Man, I did not realize how fantastic I had them starting, as they are getting a win against Missouri. They're also winning against the Citadel.
Ooh,
And lo and
talk to me,
behold,
Goose.
they're going to Bryant Denny Stadium. They're going to get a win against Alabama.
Oh, I
They're
know.
starting off 8-0. Going on the road to South Carolina, they're going to get a win there.
Hang
They
on, hang on.
host.
Got to cut you off. My wife is experiencing some road rage right now. This is, oh my goodness. What did you calm down, ma'am? Hey, Miss Tarpley. Hey, just keep it between the lines. I heard the car yelling at you. See, the car will yell at you if you don't stay in between the lines. All right, so I'm joking. Go ahead, keep going.
So little man is now asleep, by the way. But
That a boy. He is out.
but now Tennessee, I do think this is going to be a tough matchup for both teams. But getting the game at home, Texas A&M is going to get a win to start the season 10-0.
My goodness, Michael.
But then this is where things kind of go south for Texas A&M, as they're going to drop this game to Oklahoma next to last game of the season. And then Texas, they do get the game at home. But Aggie fans, I'm sorry to tell you right now, Texas has got your number, and they're going to fall to Texas in the last game of the season to finish the season 10-2, according to my prediction. As far as the floor goes for this team, I actually think the floor is going to be 8-4. I think that there's 2 more games that you lose on this schedule, and I would say it's two of 3 teams. It's LSU, it's Alabama, it's Tennessee. those would be the three teams that I would say they could possibly lose to. I don't think they lose to all three of them, which is why I have 8-4 as my floor. And I'm also with you. I think 11-1 is a ceiling for this team. Win across the board, but I think you lose one of those games to either Oklahoma or Texas at the end of the season. Maybe in Alabama or LSU could be in there as well. Maybe you win those last two games, but I think 11-1 is the absolute ceiling. But 10-2 for the Aggies is what I have this season.
That's awesome, man. That's insane. That's a young too, because you kind of don't feel so good, going into the playoff selection committee. You're not feeling as confident, but I still think the Aggies would make the playoff there with that 10-2. You can't deny the LSU, the Alabama, the Tennessee wins are going to probably, and the Missouri. I think Missouri's going to be a good team.
Yeah.
I think they could also kind of carry that win over as their resume, so to speak. But still a solid season for A&M. But man, wouldn't that be the A&M narrative? Start strong, end terribly. I feel like they've always done that.
Yeah, especially here lately. Last season, 11-0 to start the season. Then you drop to Texas in the final game of the season, miss out on the SEC title game, and then you just lay a complete egg in the playoffs against Miami that eventually went to the national championship game. Everything was on the table for Texas A&M, and it just fell apart for them